Greetings, everyone. This is Sour Caps, and welcome to something a little different. So, for my birthday, I got myself a copy of Mongoose Traveler, second edition, the new core rulebooks, because I've been kind of just having a lot of fun watching character creation and playing it out. And then on top of that, my wife got me like every other one of the books for this that I wanted, or could even think of wanting. So it'd be a shame not to put them to use. That brings us to here. I'm running a game with my brother and my best friend, and I thought I'd do videos and like video journals to see how it goes along and keep you guys up to date because it's fun. I might post the recordings of the sessions, but there's just a lot of background noise. All married, a lot of chatter, so we'll do this instead. They're starting off in a world that was beautiful and Earth-like about 200 years ago before an intergalactic war just completely destroyed the atmosphere. Like, imagine terraforming gone wrong, nuclear weapons. The entire planet is just absolutely unlivable. So now, all of the water is basically acidic. The environment itself is so toxic and insidious and corrosive that it'll eat away at their air filters if they walk around without, or in a vacuum suit. So the only way people have stayed safe is retreating underground. In giant industrial cities, get more into those in a minute. But people don't stop in this sector anymore. There's also not a gas giant nearby. So basically they would swing, after the war settled, it's like terrible, no one can live there. There's no real major fuel supplies or other planets nearby, so it's basically fallen off of the space maps. And their mission that they know about is through their background and connections, they have a starship that they know about, or at least a base that they know about that hasn't been raided, hasn't been looted because it's near one of these dragons, the one on the lower right. Which, according to the maps, the dragon things are actually giant creatures that have survived and evolved here. So, their first couple of sessions and their first mission get to that thing. Could be riches. It's gonna be. They already know it's gonna be a spaceship, a very special spaceship. But we'll get to that in another video. Now we can talk a little bit about the population of this town is, or this place is about 10,000 people. Or sorry, 10 million, tens of millions of people. It's 40 million people on the planet living in giant underground cities. There are 4 underground cities that are minor and have about 3 million people in them. And then there are 3 major cities left that have about 9 million people in them. They're all pretty self-sustaining. The government is very strict, very, very regulated, like owning a gun, absolutely illegal. Basically, doing anything is illegal. It's very bureaucratic, too. But there is some trade going on. But really, if anyone's more interested in that, I can just give you some documentation and details. So with that, let's get into the characters. First, we have Charles Chinley, played by my brother James. Totally, absolutely not a Bruce Campbell clone. Chuck Chinley, if that's my real name. Anyway, went into university, my dream, become a government agent. And I did it. I was a good government agent until they took my arm. I lost it. But I got a robot one, it's okay. Then from that, shamed, unarmed, I went to become my own boss. Run my own company. And I did. Until the military destroyed the entire city I was in, destroying every trace of my company just because they had new ideas. But what they didn't know yet, they forgot to deactivate my badge. Second job. Second term as a secret agent. I was the best sneaking around, doing the jobs. But you make one wrong deal with one corrupt government agent, and everything's gone again. But that's okay. That's okay. I became a banker after that, a merchant, moving goods, mostly actually salvaged military goods. Which is when I remembered about that file I had. I opened it up, and it was a map to a starbase that I'd heard rumors about. But nobody'd scavenged. Nobody had rights. Nobody could survive the trip. Nobody was stupid enough. I'd need a partner. What better partner than your old friend, Dr. Billy Bell? I've had a sordid life. Medical doctor, you know. But I didn't bother with med school. I'm too genius for that. Worked out well. You know, until I had to perform a surgery, and then one death because you didn't know what you're doing, and they put you in jail. You know, it's okay. In jail, I could do anything. I could get you anything, find you anybody, anything you wanted. I would fix that. But that's okay. I got out, and what did I do? Did what everybody does after they were a doctor and then went to jail. Wrote a book. Great book. Amazing book. Went on tour selling my book. Everyone loved my book. Got a flat tire. We got lost. May have had to eat an assistant or two, but I survived. Book tour was over. So I went into business for myself. I was a broker. Information, parts. You needed it. I can find it. But I went out of business because somebody had more money and red tape and blah, 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 blah. So, took on the only thing I had left. What my pappy and his pappy did. The noble art. Disemboweling wreckages. And salvaging and scavenging. Turning old life into new art. Totally not a desperate 40-year-old man seeking to get fame and fortune by any means necessary. And with that, we're off. So they decided that they knew each other because in the past, Dr. Bell had sold drugs to a young college boy. And then that might have helped get him arrested, malpractice, blah, blah, blah. But also, as he became a merchant, he needed a scavenger to work with. Happened to find one he knew. So the first thing the two of them needed was to get some cash. Because if you can't walk on the planet, like if your suit starts to eat away in a couple hours, there's no way you're walking it all the way to the city. And because of how rolls went, they were broke. Billy had about 1,000 credits on him. Charles only had about 1,000 on him as well, because he'd spent all of his extra military money, like putting a illegal flamethrower into his arm, because you might need that. So what they did to get money, their first idea was to just go run some scams. Like, I'm picturing Ed and Eddie style. Like, basically they were running around and be like, "You want to arm wrestle me? I can beat you in any arm wrestling." Because if you saw from their stats, Charles is the only one who has a positive strength, so he's like, I'll make him wrestle my robot arm, and be like, "Oh, I'm losing." Bam. Meanwhile, Dr. Billy was running around selling like snake oil and talking people into like, "Guess my weight, win a prize." So they ran a carnival. This is their idea, not mine. They ran a carnival. And with that carnival, they basically doubled their money. They got an extra 2,500 spud. That's what it decided the money should be called on this planet, because all of the cities are named after crappy cities. Well, not crappy cities. They're bastardized names of cities in Idaho because all three of us are from Idaho, and it was stupid and fun. So now their money is spud on the planet because they're separated from the rest of the world. They don't use credits; they use spud. So after that, they decided they wanted to go and buy a weapon, so they had something besides a flamethrower to defend themselves when they traveled. Inside these megacities, there are spots in the walls that are broken. Like, so some of these blank spaces on the edge are actually like slums outside the walls that are, the air's not great. Like, people there die young, can barely breathe, but it's still livable. That's also where most of the black market stuff is. So they went there, and they were able to find a guy selling a laser pistol, and they spare energy clip for it. Some haggling happened, some back and forth. They managed to talk the price down, and they got it for everything. Basically, the $2,500 they just earned, they spent on the laser pistol and the spare clip. What they don't know about, and I'll tell them this now if they're watching, that spare clip isn't charged. They're not going to watch this before the next session. If they need to use it, it'll be fine. It's still a deal. They just have to find a way to plug it in for like a day and a half. And then with that, they decided they needed more money, so they went to go look for other jobs, and I'm going to cut to a recording here because it's just too precious. So 1 second.
No, that's
Yes, let's go loudly proclaim that we need money at a bar.
I think you'll sound like just about every other person in the bar.
Yeah, we're gonna be loud.
Man,
You will fit
there's
in.
not much I wouldn't do for some cash right now, and I'm just so available to do anything for money right now.
Oh, I'm so
Hey.
available. All right, well, we have
Yeah,
to find
yeah.
something
We
to
will
cross.
do whatever it takes for money. Terms and conditions may apply.
There's only one thing I like more than money: not working for money.
So they did find a job. It was an old contact from Charles's day as a broker. Actually, it was Billy Bell's day as a broker. And he was somebody who needed them to watch, to thwart a robbery. I decided there were 7 crates, and the terms and conditions for the job were, there's somebody coming to steal my crates. I need you to stop them, don't open the crates, and don't get the police involved. So he led them to a warehouse where it was actually like a mega warehouse, so like almost like self-storage, like just a giant empty room full of shelves of giant shipping crates. And inside, well, not inside the shipping crates, but inside, guarded, stacked about 2 high, so 3 and 2, or 4 and 3. That's how math works. That's fine. And then there were a bunch of other crates in the warehouse. The guy kind of let them in with a key card, and he's like, I've only got the 1 key card, so I'll have to be back for you in the morning. And then he left them there. They said, just no cops. Don't open any of my crates. So, of course,
When we get to these crates, Steven, are we gonna
Oh,
like
you
look
know
inside
for a
one?
fact. You know for a fact that we are like totally gonna find out how.
But we got to make sure that he can't tell that we opened it.
I'm
right?
sure with your flamethrower you can burn away evidence.
But then okay, so 1 crate got away.
yeah, the first thing they did was open a crate. Which, to be fair, I expected them to open a crate, and I'd rolled on some random tables to decide what illegal goods were in this crate. Turned out it was wine and a bunch of bats. So bats just kind of like swooping around, screaming and everywhere else, but the guys like avoid the bats, like give them space. They fly up into the roof, they calm down. They don't fight. So then the bandits come. And those guys mess up what they're doing and set off the alarm. So there's an alarm going off like wow, 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 wow. And before they got in, Charles climbed up on top of the crates, so he's sitting there on top of the crates, and there's alarms going off. And Dr. Billy Bell's just like leaning there, smoking a cigarette against the other crates. Like, oh, you guys are here to rob the joint, huh? Do you even know what you're here to steal? Like, yeah, we're here to steal some, like, shipping goods, right? Like, I got a buyer lined up. It's going to be, it's worth a lot, right? It's got to be. It's wine. What? You've been duped. It's wine. And, like, he just kind of bluntly, honestly tells them what's in there. And it sort of freaks out the bandits. And as they're talking, the alarm's still like, wah, 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 wah. One of the bats comes diving. Like, because it's pissed off at the noise. Like, scree, wah, scree, wah. And it, like, right at Chuck, who decides he doesn't want to fight a bat, so he decides to dodge off and just smacks into another crate and slides down like, because he failed his roll really bad. Got a little damage from that. And then they open up the crate to the guy and like, look, we'll show you, it's wine. This guy had us, he didn't even give us a key. He wanted us to guard wine and pee in a bucket for a night. So they managed to convince the group of robbers that you guys don't know what you're doing. I can better than you can. Take us with you. Like, you guys got the car. We'll help you load it up. Let's go. And so they join up with this group of bandits. Which the bandits are basically just disgruntled workers trying to piss off their boss. So they're more than happy to have somebody who looks like they know what they're doing. But as they're loading up, because the alarms are going off, the police show up. Charles does manage to get the alarms off, but the police have already shown up. So Dr. Bell swoops in to talk to them. And immediately manages to convince them that, hey, we were here to guard this place, but this idiot doesn't know what he's doing. So our plan for guarding these crates, rather than stay here, cause a ruckus, cause a fight, put them on the truck. Drive the truck around for the night. Bandits will come. Crates are gone. Bandits will freak out. Bring the crates back in the morning. Easiest way to get $7,000. Like, rent a truck. Get my cousins. Sells them the roll really well. But what he does is, in order to back up his story, he's like, look, here's this card. Call my boss. He knows that I'm here. We just messed up with the alarm because he didn't give us a key. So he gives him the actual contact information for the guy who hired them. Call him up. Please verify some information and blah, 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 blah. They're satisfied and they're like, okay, just don't set off any more alarms. Like, I don't want to fill out this paperwork. Police go and they immediately get a text like, what the fuck is going on? I said no cops. Are my crates okay? And he just kind of doesn't respond very much. Says like, everything's fine. He's like, I'm on my way over. And they peace out. They load up all the crates. They're driving off. He's driving back. And that's where we decided to end it for the night. I gave them the option of playing for like 5-10 minutes longer and getting out of the city. They decided instead, no, we'll just, I said if they don't, they were going to have to stay somewhere for the night and we'll figure that out. So that's where we left off. They are going to stay the night for the city. So now they're going to have to figure out how to smuggle their way out. And we'll see how the details of where they stay and what happens next. So also for your benefit, your benefit as well as mine, I had them write character journals. So let's go over them real quick. We spent the day trying to make some money for supplies. Took an honest job and completed it exactly as requested and made new friends along the way. Met a cop. He was nice. Didn't have to set anyone on fire, which is a plus, I guess. It's another Monday day in the life of Dr. Billy Bell. My associate Charles and I met in the city of Boylsey. Here I saved a lovely lass from a mugging as Charles operated some scheme for wealth where he failed terribly. Woman I saved was willing to aid us financially and doubled our funds. Wanted to stay with me, but alas, she had to depart. Such is the tragic life of this brave doctor. We did learn someone needing assistance transporting his goods from Boylsey. We graciously accepted to do this for free, but the man insisted on paying us greatly. Unsure why he was so eager to move his product. From what we discovered, It's nothing more than bottled wine. Expect us to aid other in need. How noble to entrust us with this mighty quest. I do want to point out there was absolutely no damsel in distress. We're all had a blast. Like, if you haven't played Traveler, especially the newer one, character creation itself is fun. They ended up playing it so much that they made 40-year-old men. Like, that was not because I decided that they should be 40. It's they had fun failing out of every career they possibly could. And, yeah. Sorry this has been a weird video. It's been a good time for me. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.